The top 10 shocking facts about Germany. Fact number 1, and probably most shocking one of all, prisoners are free to run. Free to run. So they have it better than anywhere else in the world. Well, they're not encouraged to do so. Nobody gives them the keys or helps them to escape. But the point is that there is no punishment for a prisoner who tries to escape from a prison. Normally, it's an increased sentence or any other form of a punishment. However, German state recognizes that there is a basic human instinct to be free. Fact number 2, Germans don't drive, they fly. Or at least get ready to take off. 65% of highways in Germany, also known as Autobahns, have no speed limit. No speed limit, none whatsoever. So if you really want to floor it, there's no better place to do it than Germany. With some of the best highways in the world, plus top-notch car brands to boot, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, BMW and Porsche comes to mind. If anywhere, then it's here in Germany. With killer roads and killer cars, you can experience the marvel of German engineering. Oh, Merry Christmas! Or fact number 3, Magic Christmas, anyone? Love Christmas and all that comes with it? I'm with you. The modern Christmas tree was indeed born in Germany. We all know that symbolic evergreen trees started in ancient Egypt and Rome. However, Germany continued the tradition and added the candles and decorations, turning it into the actual Christmas tree. For many families today, Christmas tree is an essential part of every Christmas celebration. Without it, it's not quite like it. By 19th century, the tradition spread all over Germany and to neighboring places with the help of several German royals. German immigrants brought the custom to the US, and the US continued to spread around the world. Today, most of the countries are very much supportive of the tradition, decorating lavishly most of the cities, turning majority of them into a Christmas fairy tale. Fact number 4, Germany, the land of education. Also known to be the land of poets and thinkers, das Land der Dichter und Denker. Universities here are free for everyone, even non-Germans. Before you're starting packing your bags, mind you, German is a very, very, very difficult language, struggling with it for over 2 years now. Trust me, I know. The word here that you see right now, it's the longest word that was ever printed in German language, so the actual word. German language for generations was the learning language of the world, mind you, not English like it is today. If you wanted to continue your education beyond the staggering achievement back in the day of being able to speak your own language, you pretty much had to study German. Most of the books back in the day were published in German. Today, Germany is one of the world's leading book nations, publishing around 100,000 titles every year. German is a beautiful language, definitely very difficult, but worthy of learning. It's lunchtime here, getting hungry, just the right time to talk about German food and its crazy statistics. If I ask you a quick quiz, how many types of German beer there are? How many types of bread? How many types of sausages? The guesses would probably be, if you're a reasonable person, I don't know, a few dozen, a couple hundred maybe. No. There are over 1,500 different types of beer, 300 different kinds of bread, and 1,000 kind of sausages. I mean, I wouldn't be able to name, like, my imagination went wild, maybe 20. There are 1,000 different types of sausages in Germany. Beer is considered to be food in Bavaria, officially, so there is no misnomer here. We're talking about German food, and beer is a part of it. Germany is the second largest beer consumer in the world. Germans usually drink around 2.5 billion gallons a year. Second only to, surprise, surprise, Czech Republic. Want to learn more about Czech Republic? There is a video, top 10 shocking facts about Czech Republic. A link will be in the description or up here in the corner. Heard that Germany had a castle or two? You're right, it has 20,000. Over 20,000, in fact. So German castles. Fact number 6. Whilst the exact number is not known, experts have estimated that Germany is a home to over 20,000 castles, close to 25. I take it once they counted to 20,000, they were like, we beat the world by leaps and bounds. We're no longer counting. But somewhere between 20 and 25,000 you will find in Germany. Germany is in fact the country with the highest number of castles in the world. Here you will find it all. Castles that look like they come straight out of a fairy tale, to medieval fortresses with moats. Germany features some of the most impressive European castles and palaces. Reasons behind such abundance are mostly historical. Germany used to be a cluster of small kingdoms, and each of them had a special little ruler, and each had to have a castle or 2 or 10. Probably the most famous castle of all, though not most pronounceable, Neuschwanstein. You've seen it maybe in Disneyland, the copy of it. The castle was conceived in the mind of mad King Ludwig of Bavaria. History of Neuschwanstein incorporates everything: myth, mystery, murder, mysterious murder, art, romantic literature, grand opera, and more. A fairy tale king died at the age of 40 under very, very, very mysterious circumstances in 1886, when his body was found floating in the lake of Starnberg, accompanied by his physician. The body of his physician, that is. It was written off as a suicide, but seriously, did he take his physician along for what? For afterlife treatment in a sort of a Egyptian pharaoh's fashion? Ludwig was not much of a politician. He withdrew almost entirely from affairs of state in favor of parties, theater, classical music, and lavish projects, including the Neuschwanstein castle. In 1886, he was declared insane, hence the Mad King. Eccentric he might have been, but there were no evidence supporting that he was actually mad. Forced to resign as a king, kicked out of his own home, and eventually killed. So that was the story of the fairy tale king. Sadly, not all of the fairy tales end up in happily ever after. Fact number 7. The greatest gifts that Germany brought to the world. First and foremost, the printing press. Printing press was invented by Johannes Gutenberg in 1456. First ever published book in Europe from the printing press was, you'll never guess which. The bestseller of all times? The one that few actually read from beginning to end? No, not Anna Karenina, was not even written back then. It was the Bible. It marked the beginning of Gutenberg revolution, making knowledge accessible and affordable to all, or almost all. Previously, books were mostly copied by hand, making them prohibitively expensive. In turn, this has fueled the Reformation that also came from Germany. Thanks, guys. Martin Luther's message never would have caught up without the printing press. Protestant Reformation was a religious reform that swept through Europe in 1500s. It resulted in the creation of Protestantism. Started in Germany in 1517, Martin Luther, teacher and a monk, published 95 theses. In a nutshell, he claimed that you cannot buy first class or second class or any class ticket to heaven. Ticket to heaven? Who was selling tickets to heaven? Well, church was selling tickets to heaven. Martin Luther, an actual believer, refused to sell indulgences, which I lovingly call the forgiveness for all sins on a fast track to heaven. Worried about your dead Uncle Joey, who had an affair with a baker? No problem, you can buy a ticket for him as well. In many ways, Reformation fueled education, as for Protestants, a true believer has to read the Bible for him or herself. And finally, jeans. Levi Strauss. The famous Levi's is an American clothing brand, that's true, but who was the one who founded it and invented it? It was actually German immigrant Levi Strauss, who moved from Bavaria to California. The rest, as they say, is history. Fact number 9, the so-called Octoberfest. Oktoberfest, you think will be in October, right? Wrong. In fact, if you'll show up in October, you'll be more than fashionably late. The whole thing is usually wrapped up by like 2nd of October. So Oktoberfest is actually in September. Why isn't it then a Septemberfest? Maybe it doesn't sound so good, or the weather isn't as good? No, dig deeper. The history of the first Oktoberfest took place on October 12th, 1810. It lasted for 5 days and was meant to celebrate the marriage of King Ludwig I of Bavaria and Princess Therese of Saxe-Hildburghausen. A stunning bride wore a floor-length empire dress with lace and silk. Before the ceremony, she cried, apparently. You'd think maybe she wasn't too thrilled about the tradition of arranged marriages. She missed home. Oh, everything was much simpler. She suffered from a terrible toothache. The city celebrated with bread rolls, cheese, sausages, wine, and beer. Even held a horse race. These events started the Great Oktoberfest tradition, which nowadays in September, but who cares? King Ludwig I claimed that he would be happy with Princess Therese. It was not to be, sadly. And I quote, "The king, Therese, is distinguished by her heart, by reason, by beauty. I wouldn't wish for a better woman, but I married without a passion, as it is profitable for future," whatever that's supposed to mean. Therese and Ludwig went to have 9 children, though she suffered through his continuous affairs and sadly was not terribly happy. So maybe the tears on the wedding day were not just for the toothache. Fact number 10. Jelly donuts, Barbie dolls, politics in Germany can be fun. As part of series to celebrate the toy's 50th birthday, manufacturer Mattel, the one that produces Barbies, has decided to bring out a version of Barbie doll modeled after a German chancellor, Angela Merkel. The doll wears politicians' tailored trouser suit and a trademark blonde bob. The idea was to have a great role model for girls to be inspired by. And probably the most interesting facts of all, when visiting Berlin, US President JFK famously said, "Ich bin ein Berliner," which actually means I am a jelly donut. For English ear, Berliner would mean, well, a person from Berlin. In reality, Berliner in German means a jelly donut. But that would be all that I wanted to share with you today. But there'll be more videos shortly. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to put the like. Thank you so much for joining and see you soon.